What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to another Thursday night watch party as part of Sal's house. Yes, you're in my house. I'm watching the football game. Hopefully you're watching the football game. We got Patriots at Jets tonight, and we got a couple of great guests lined up for you. Lorenzo Alexander, Buffalo Bills, former linebacker, also former teammate of Aaron Rodgers at Cal. So we're going to have Lorenzo come in here, talk a little bit about the game as we watch it together. I always want to remind everybody, I can't play the game here. That's illegal. They'd shut me down. The NFL would be getting their lawyers on me and be suing me and shutting me down. So I can't play the game here. So as much as this is kind of like the Manning cast, maybe we can call it the Sal cast or something, Manning's like they basically watch the game as it's going on the screen. We can't do that. But what we can do is have you watch the game with us. Now, we might have a little bit of a delay here or there. It doesn't matter. We're just talking football. We're talking about what's happening. Patriots at Jets tonight, another AFC East battle. Bills fans who are coming in, you want the Patriots, right? I mean, isn't that a little dirty? It's a little dirty to want the Patriots to win, but I think that's what you have to have here tonight because, I mean, if you take a look at it, right? Patriots, Jets, look at their upcoming schedules. And, I mean, I think we're all kind of anticipating the Jets to maybe be there with the Bills fighting for them at the end, not the Patriots, despite the fact that they have actually played pretty well to start the season. But the Patriots, after this game, I mean, they have the Jets tonight. Then they go to San Francisco next week. Then they have the Dolphins at home, which is a different game now without Tua. Then they have the Texans. Then they go to Jags. Then they get the Jets again to wrap up that season series. For the Jets, it does look a little different now than it did, when the schedule came out. But think about this for a second. They get the Patriots tonight. Then they get the Broncos at home next week. Then they go to London to play the Vikings. And honestly, that game seemed a lot different a few weeks ago before the Vikings started off the way they did. Then they come back to play the Bills. But they have some winnable games here, and I think you want the Patriots to win if you're a Buffalo Bills fan. Thank you so much to everybody who's come in here. Sandra, AC Man, Peter, got you all. B. Sully, thank you all for coming in. Tell all your friends, send some links. Join me here, whether we're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter /X, doesn't matter. It's always Sal Sports. The other thing I'll ask you is if you are joining on YouTube or if you haven't been there yet, go to the YouTube channel. That's where you'll find a lot more of my content, especially it's always game day in Buffalo with Matt Bove and me. It's at YouTube. We're close to 10,000 subscribers at YouTube. Close to 10,000 subscribers. I need I think 900 more. I'm less than 1,000 away from 10,000. So go to the Sal Sports YouTube page. Also, I believe the way this works, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can comment over here. All right. What's over there, I guess. But if you're on Twitter, you can't comment, but you can watch right there. So thank you all for coming in. Appreciate it. Before I bring Lorenzo in, before we get the game going here, which is going to happen, and I know it's on Amazon Prime tonight, we are going to thank our sponsors, great sponsors we always have aboard. And of course, it starts with Sports City Pizza Pub. They've been with me from the beginning. It's a great place to go get some pizza and wings, 1407 Niagara Street in Buffalo. Go check them out. I'm there pretty much every other weekend getting some pizza and wings and probably more. They're a great spot to watch games. They have great beer on tap, incredible menu, totally different, all different kinds of wings. And I'm telling you, it is maybe the best spot in Buffalo to watch all the games around wherever you are. And they also have a great patio. So thanks a lot to Mike Rizzo and his crew over there at Sports City Pizza Pub. Also, Buffalo Logo and buffalogo.com. You see it down in the bottom of your screen there. It's going to scroll across in a second. You got Sports City Pizza Pub and Buffalo Logo. We had Eric Westfield on, who's a part of Buffalo Logo and his company. They're doing a great job. Screen printing, embroidery, everything that you need at buffalogo.com. Check it out. All right. So you got the right there down the bottom. See it all? buffalogo.com. And of course, our friends at Fans of Buffalo. In fact, Fans of Buffalo, my friend Will Bradley, going to join me a little bit tonight to tell you about Fans of Buffalo. Have you booked your trips yet, folks? Where are you going? Where are you going next? You're going to go to New York, Monday night game, Seattle, LA, Houston. It's all on the table. Fans of Buffalo has you covered. Chartered flight, hotel, ticket to the game, everything. So we're going to bring on Will Bradley to tell you all about it in a little while. All right, this game tonight got the Jets and the Patriots. Like I said, we're watching here as we go. It's on Amazon Prime. We're going to talk a little bit about the game. Going to talk with my man Lorenzo Alexander about Thursday Night Football, about the Jets, about playing with Aaron Rodgers when he jumps on in just a moment. The New York Jets off to a bit of a slow start this year, I would say, obviously losing to San Francisco and then even last week against the Tennessee Titans. So the Titans, obviously, not a great team. Will Levis and, making some pretty ridiculous decisions, I guess, in their game Sunday against the Jets. And That translated into turnovers to the New York Jets. I tweeted out during the game on Sunday, Will Levis doing his best Josh Allen 2019 impression. And a lot of you hated that, thought I was disrespecting Josh. I was just trying to have fun with, man, remember going through that, the Josh Allen experience when Will Levis was, when Josh was in his second year, or even his first year, I guess, early on, his second year, some of the decisions that he made. And, just some of the different kinds of turnovers that happened with Will Levis and with Josh Allen, I should say. And I think Will Levis basically, mirrored that. All right. So watching the game here, I don't know where you guys are on your particular timeline on the game, but I'm seeing Fireman Ed on my television right now in front of me. I'm actually using my son's iPad, my 10-year-old son using his iPad in front of me. What's your setup like? Right. I'm using his iPad. I'm going to just make sure here Lorenzo's not having any issues. You want to bring him in here in a second. He told me he'd be jumping in just a little while. We tried to get Lorenzo on a couple weeks ago. He said he was going to be in, and then all of a sudden he had his son was playing football, and they were doing their jerseys and getting their jerseys for the season or something like that, which was really cool. So we'll get Lorenzo in here in just a little while. The Patriots are going to kick off to the Jets. And of course, the big storyline with the New York Jets in 2024 is the return again of Aaron Rodgers. And this time, obviously, more than 7 plays into the season he lasted when they played out in San Francisco. And now it's the return of Aaron Rodgers back home for his game against for the New York Jets at MetLife Stadium, his first home game. So the Jets are going to have the ball first here. I don't know exactly, like I said, where some of you guys are on your timeline. So hopefully I don't ruin anything for you. Or maybe you're talking in the chat here. We can answer some questions as we go. Joe, good to see you, buddy. Hope everything's going well over at your school. Zach, my man. I love it. Maniac's in here. Yeah, that's right. Slick and I. Slick, am I Slick? He says we live at Sports City. Yeah, for sure. All right. Jets with the ball first and 10. The dynamic kickoff, the Patriots decided to just kick it through the end zone so that they allow the Jets to take it at their 30-yard line. And the Jets pretty much open up right away with a short pass to the flat. The thing about the Jets actually is with Aaron Rodgers, he's not mobile. He's not going to be moving around back there. They have to kind of get rid of the ball quickly because he's not going to be able to extend plays like he used to. And now already the Jets, set up with 2nd and 4. You see kind of their game plan with what they're going to want to do with Aaron Rodgers. And then, of course, hand it off probably to Breece Hall, which I expect that to be happening soon. Not on this play, though. It's a 2nd down. There goes Rodgers. Now Rodgers showing a little mobility here. How about that? Aaron Rodgers getting down, sliding for the first down. And just checking in on Lorenzo here as we go. And brought down here. He slid down, has the first down. And the Jets now set up as they drive in the Patriots. Look, I will say this about the Patriots, all right? I give them credit. They know who they are. The Patriots know who they are, right? And they're going to have to win games a certain way. They have to win games of playing defense, running the ball, keeping everything close and conservative. And, they at least they know that they don't have like this big explosive, playmaking offense. They don't have those kinds of players, but they're kind of being true to who they are. So right now, haven't gotten the ball back. They play good defense. We'll see. The Jets now with a 2nd and 5 set up. They're approaching midfield. I still am not convinced in the Jets offensive line and what they're going to be able to do to protect Rodgers as we have a throw out to the side. Who's this who caught the ball there? Who's that for the Jets? That is not Mike Williams. Somebody tell me in the chat. I'm sure you're going to tell me who caught the ball there for the Jets. How do you feel about Mayo as the Pats head coach? Honestly, seems like a likable guy, but I don't know too much about him. Look, I think he's a likable guy for the players. He played. He commands respect in that locker room. I still am not convinced of any Bill Belichick assistant coach that to becoming a head coach and what they can do. They've all pretty much been bombed where they've been. And it doesn't matter exactly, where they've been, what situation, but no Bill Belichick disciple has ever really been a good head coach in the NFL. Rodgers again scrambling around. How about this? After I said that Rodgers was immobile and not able to move, throws it downfield and almost connects on a touchdown, throws it to the back of the end zone. That one was incomplete. And it looks like there's a flag in the play. What is happening here with these long passes in the NFL that we're not seeing anymore? Long passes we're not seeing. And, the flag now against the Jets, this too high safety shell. Everybody's been talking about it. everybody's been basically, saying that you're trying to figure out exactly what's happening with this too high shell, less passing, less offense, less scoring. We're going to see now. I'm going to see if maybe here we go. Let's see if Lorenzo's going to be getting in here soon. I promise you guys. He told me he'd be coming in, so I promise. I'm just trying to see. This is what happens when you're live. We're watching the game together. Sal, are you watching the next gen stats feed? I like it better this year. Well, you know what? I'll be honest with you. Kick is good, and good to hear from you. By the way, I have not watched the next gen stats feed. There goes Rodgers. Rodgers is down, and if you're a Jets fan, right, and you're watching this, you pretty much have to think. You pretty much have to kind of hold your breath when he goes down, right? I mean, every time you see something like that, here comes Lorenzo. Hold on, I'm gonna bring him on here. All right, there we go. Here we go. Lorenzo Alexander, my man. Okay, all right, hold on. There you go. Hey, what's up, buddy? How are you? Say hi to everybody.
Yeah, I'm doing good. What's going on, Mafia? Just ripping and running, just coming from flag practice. My day.
I got you.
Even this year.
I've been trying to extend as long as I can to bring you on here to talk. So I gotta keep talking here. What's your setup like in your room there? Like, how are you watching the game?
I just got a little TV that's up on my wall that I kind of watch, but I'm just kind of ripping and running. So yeah, I'm all over the place right now. I'm just trying to get set up.
Are you a normal Thursday night watcher, an NFL Thursday night watcher? Like, do you like to watch the games? Do you not like to watch the games? I
typically don't watch the games, to be honest, because I'm at practice.
Okay.
So, so for you though, I got to make an exception because you're my guy.
I appreciate that.
And I definitely had to jump on. So I'm just trying to get set up, and then I can be able to. We can talk.
Okay, you let me know when you can watch it a little bit here. I wanted to ask you about playing on Thursday night. You're a guy that obviously played in this league, and you're an NFLPA rep. You've gone through this whole thing about playing games Thursday nights. I mean, where do you land on all this now after all the money that's created, but what it does to these guys and these players and their bodies?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the money part of it, you can't argue with that when you think about the NFL. But from the player perspective and the way my body felt, I think there's no better way to do it than either opening night or how the Bills had it week 2 of the season, because you're still fresh, right? You're still in game mode and you can still fly around and feel okay. But other than that, man, I didn't want to have no part of no Thursday night football game in December in Buffalo when it was cold and my body was already kind of beat up.
Yeah, I can imagine that. But it's not going away, right? They're doing these Thursday nights now. This year, you had the Friday night game to start the season. I swear the NFL would play 7 nights a week if they could actually get away with it.
I mean, they're gonna be pretty close when it comes around to when is that? Black Friday, Wednesdays, Thursday, Saturday, Friday, right? They're gonna get pretty close. They may miss the Tuesday, but that's part of the league, and that's what they want to do. And I understand it, right? There's still such a the game is still growing. We think about gambling now and fantasy and the little kids that are watching, and just there's so much demand for the game for it to be consumed that people just really just love it. So I get why they're doing it. It's just hard from the player's perspective to go out there and play at the highest level when your body's banged up.
Lorenzo, we were trying to get you on a couple weeks ago, and I totally understand you couldn't make it that night. But one of the reasons why was to talk about Arizona and the Cardinals in the preview. I'm actually glad I have you now because I've watched Arizona now for 2 games. Obviously, the one game in Buffalo, and you're out there in Arizona. You know the Cardinals very well. I mean, I'm super impressed with this team. I think the win the Bills had looks a lot better even after what I saw in week 2. What have you seen from them?
I would agree with that sentiment. I mean, because I'm out here, and so I get to hear it all the time, watching Kyler and how he played last week, some of the throws that he was making. I mean, it was probably, if you didn't know anything else about the NFL, you would say that was the best of the best of what the NFL had to offer, the way he came out and played, the way he was able to move around the pocket, some of the throws he made from the pocket. Everybody's talking about the one, the MHJ, Marvin Harrison Jr. in the back of the end zone that had that great catch. But he had one on the sideline to McBride and cover, looked like it was like 2-man. And he's like threaded the needle between the linebacker and the safety coming over the top right on the sideline that McBride can only catch.
Right.
Max in what they're doing in the run game, how they gashed the Rams last week. And we know the Rams were injured, but that was on the offensive side, not the defensive side. So to your point, I really do think it shows how well the Bills played, and especially coming back in that game when we saw how well this Arizona Cardinals team can run the ball and finish games.
Have you been paying attention to all the stuff people are talking about with the lack of the scoring being down and passing being down and the too high safety shell and what everybody's doing now? This is a big deal now.
Mel Kiper, man, that is.
I mean,
it's ridiculous though. So if you want a team not to play too high, because when you play too high, that means you only have a 6-man box, which means a gap unencumbered. So run the ball, right? If you think about some of the great teams, right? When we played the New England Patriots, obviously Tom Brady, I know nobody wants to hear about this, but they would beat you whatever you were giving them, right? They would take, and I hate when people say take and make it seem like this passive term. No, they would literally just take your heart away if you want to play too high. We're just going to run the ball down your throats. Now, if you want to come up and think you can handle our guys on the outside, now we're going to take that from you too. So that's what you have to be able to do. So you have to force that other team to come out of that too high, make them come down and play man, make them play single high. So then that you can have those shots. And that's what the whole play action game is all about, right?
Yep.
Boot off the play action, off the run, because now those safeties feel like they got to come down and stop it. You come out and throw the ball deep. But I must be missing something because the last time I checked, I mean, Tyreek Hill is still in the league balling out. Last week, because I'm covering the Cardinals, they play the Lions and Goff.
Yeah, this week, yep.
Goff, his first play was for like 40 yards down the sideline on the 7 route. So I don't know if Mel Kiper is not watching football, right? Maybe the numbers are slightly down because people are going to gash you and maybe people are willing to die by 1,000 cuts. But I think it's so early in the season, right? We can't take a 2-game sample size and say it's down. When I watch football, it's very exciting, maybe because I watch it from a different perspective, right? I don't need to necessarily see a 50-yard touchdown, even though those are really cool to see. But I've seen my fair share in these last couple of weeks, just watching the Bills game, the Cardinals game last week. So I don't know. I love football. I love the chess match behind it. And now by dictating what defenses can do, right now we're taking something else away from a defense to try to manipulate or dictate to the offense or be physical to the offense. So I don't really agree with it.
Lorenzo Alexander here, former Bills linebacker. We're watching. Do you have the game on yet? Were you able to get to it? I don't know if you have it there or not.
No, I don't.
It's 0-0. It's 0-0. The Patriots, both teams have traded punts now. The Patriots are punting. So Aaron Rodgers is going to get the ball back. You were Aaron Rodgers' teammate at Cal for a couple of years.
I was.
Yeah. 2003, 2004. What was Aaron like as a college teammate?
Different, and rightfully so, right? It was before all the MVPs, before the money, before, what I think having that celebrity and notoriety and that success that can do to you when people want a lot of things from you. So I would say he was definitely less guarded at Cal. We hung out a lot, these college kids in the dorm room, having a good time, going out, obviously on the football field, playing at a high level. But he was just a grinder and a worker, a kid that got an opportunity. Garrett Cross was our tight end that we actually were recruiting, Tefford, and Tefford discovered Rodgers by recruiting a tight end. And when he came in, very humble, had that NorCal swag to him, and just put that work in and earned him a job. And when he got that opportunity, he just ran with it, and was so cool to watch him and thrive. I think about Jeff MacArthur. I think about Burrow Toller. I think about Chase Lyman, just some of the great receivers, and just watching those years. Because that year, I think my senior year, we were number 5. It was his junior year when he came out. We were number 5 in the country. And it's so cool to remember that, because my freshman year at Cal, we were 1-10. And so just to go through that whole transformation process and be able to see him up close, work his magic was a really cool experience, and something that I'll always kind of hold near to in my heart. Because not too often do you get to be around the genesis of greatness, right?
He's regarded obviously as such a kind of a weird guy and all these kinds of things. Was he approachable? Was he a good teammate in that regard? Was he a little different? What was he like in that?
Nah. He was real cool. It's nothing like the persona of Aaron, right? And I've been around enough guys, high profile guys, to understand that they have to have a barrier, right? And obviously life changes, your experiences change you. But what we necessarily see from the public perspective, and a lot of stuff he kind of puts out there, isn't always who a cat authentically is when he's at home, sitting on the couch with his boys, watching the game, right, with his family around him, right? So I'm always more reserved to criticize, even though our relationship has changed, just because I don't get to see him in those spaces where I don't have to be this dude, this persona, right? I don't have to be the MVP, Aaron Rodgers, and all of the polarizingness that comes with it. So, because I've been around a lot of guys, you get around them and be like, oh, I thought you was going to be somebody completely different.
Right.
So, I respectfully say he has changed, but I don't really know, what it, personally what that really looks like, because I don't engage with him like I did like we were in college.
The Jets just got the ball back. Aaron Rodgers does have it. It's 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line. Lorenzo, I went to the Wayback Machine, and just so you know, I want to show everybody this. Here we go, buddy. There you are. On the big Lorenzo on the left. Look at that. That's you. You were a defensive tackle. You played offensive line. You played defensive line. You played linebacker at the highest of levels in the NFL, MVP of the Pro Bowl. Look at this guy in there. I mean, man, your body had to transform a million times. You should have been the poster child for like different weight loss products.
No, everybody talking about that TB12, diet, man. He was already skinny, man, so I missed my wave to be a influencer, right? I was maybe a little too early to really capture what I did with my body. And it's crazy that you bring that up, because when I got to the NFL is when I lost most of my weight. I was still when I was in the league or in college. In my first 2 years, I think I got up to like 315. I remember going back home in the off season, just kind of hanging out, wanted to go check out my mom, and I was doing something by her car, and she was at the front door of our duplex. We lived upstairs, and my aunt lived downstairs, my great aunt. And she asked my mom, she was like, "Who is that man out by your car?" Because she didn't recognize me. She was like, "That's your great nephew, auntie." So that's just how much weight I had lost, from seeing my aunt. I had lost like 40 pounds over a couple of years, and just that change. And I'm obviously benefiting from it now that I'm done, just to be able to, run around with the kids and not have all that extra weight, unnecessary weight, really, to have to lose.
This team, before I let you go, I want to ask you about the Bills. Obviously, this team reminds me of your 2017 team a little bit. The team that broke the drought, where a lot of people just didn't expect a lot. There were a lot of changeover. Obviously, then you had new coaches and all across the board, new general manager, but kind of flew under the radar. And one thing that always stood out to me was people in that building that first year always said to me that Sean was just so good at bringing people together. Sean was so good at creating a team environment. And of course, we hear the word culture, and that's such a buzzword in sports. But can you take us into that 2017 team and kind of relate it to maybe what we're seeing now?
Yeah, and you know what? I think people take it for granted, especially when you win I guess the beginning, right? The foundation. And the further you sometimes get away from that, you forget that be grateful for this opportunity to be a contender every single year, right? And I think with the change and all the guys that were connected to that, when you think about, especially when I think about Poyer and Micah, guys like that, Tremaine is no longer there. There's just a ton of guys. Matt Milano's injured right now. Kyle Williams isn't no longer there. There's a ton of guys that were on that team, and I just had the realization now, this past maybe a couple of weeks ago, like, man, it finally happened where it's probably like a handful of guys that I actually played with that was there in 17. Mm-hmm. But I think Sean, to your point, does such an excellent job of finding fresh new ways to kind of create the culture so it doesn't become stale to guys.
Right.
And it's done authentically, because that's who he is. It's not like this fake thing that he's trying to manufacture, and I think guys respect that. And of course, everybody's not going to always be on board, but he has done a great job of building a culture where you can come into. Obviously, we know it's a business, but you really feel that family aspect of it, and it's really an extension of the Buffalo Bills community as a whole and that fan base. And I think he really realized, hey, if I want to do something special here, it has to mimic the passion that the love that the fans have for one another in this team. And that's what he's really created. A lot of these close, authentic, interpersonal relationships where I really got to know who my teammates were beyond just, going to work with them. right? It's a lot of guys that I decided to do life with and trying to keep up with their kids. And so now when I'm in that room and I'm learning and I'm going over my scheme or trying to make plays, right? I'm doing it for more than just mine, right? My wife, my kids. I'm doing it for Micah's kids, Kyle's kids, because I know what it means to them and their families and the sacrifice that they put in and then the connections that we have. And so that's what I thought Sean did a really good job of. And he did it with the whole organization. So when you think about people that are in the lunchroom serving food, the security guards, the maintenance individuals, he would bring everybody in the organization in and give them a space to share. And it's like it takes everyone, right? And so the things that they say, one Bills or the love,
one Buffalo,
one Buffalo, those things are real. Like it's something that he really tries to make more than just words and this cool slogan that people say. But like when I show up to work, I feel some real connection. And even when I'm no longer there, right, I still feel connection. I can call guys call me because of what he created. So I think that's what, is that extra special thing that typically teams have. Obviously talent and all that matters, but for you to go through the hardships that this not only the organization, but community has gone through, and for you to still be where you're at, I think is a testament to the relationships, the interpersonal relationships Sean has intentionally and authentically built, over the last, 7 years he's been there, 7, 8 years?
Yeah, 8 years now,
Right, yeah.
Crazy. It's crazy. Hey, buddy, great to talk to you. Everything's good with the kid playing ball? That's all good? You're coaching?
Yeah, I love it, man. I'm doing some football. My son, and I don't do daddy ball, but the dude is a little beast. He like contact, and everybody don't like contact. So it's fun to watch him play linebacker. I'm gonna have to shoot you some clips. Maybe you can put it out.
I love it. As we talk, the Jets just scored, by the way. The Jets just scored a touchdown. Alan Lazard runs one in, catches and runs one in. So they go up 6-0 here. For Aaron Rodgers on a touchdown pass. You'll have to send me some clips. I love it. My boy Max just started flag football through his school, middle school football. So, it's that time, right? We're getting older and watching our kids do their thing is the cool part, right?
Yeah, for sure, man. Tell Max and the fam I said what's up. Definitely appreciate you guys and look forward to seeing you when I get out there soon.
You got it, buddy. Anytime. Thanks a lot for joining tonight. I really appreciate you, man.
Yeah, always.
All right, you got it. That is Lorenzo Alexander. Everybody say goodbye to him. Thank you, Lorenzo Alexander right there. In the meantime, I'm going to bring in Will Bradley. Will, what's going on? How are you, buddy?
I'm good. How's it going, Sal?
Good. Let me tell everybody who Will Bradley is. He is the founder, owner of Fans of Buffalo. Fans of Buffalo, one of the big sponsors here for Sal's House. And Will, we have right now close to 1,800 people watching live. So I'm going to tell you to give your best pitch to what you guys do and why you're doing it and how Bills fans can get in touch with you to go watch the Bills on the road.
So basically, we already know Bills fans travel the best in the league. So honestly, after traveling around some of the best in the world, so our job is just to make it as easy as possible for you guys. Fans of Buffalo, we package everything together, flights, hotels, game tickets. And we throw in a couple events and always the big pregame tailgate event. We throw a big party right next to the stadium. Wherever we can find it, we try to link up with the Bills backers in every city, try to make it easy. Then we get your game tickets, and then you're good to go. So basically, you show up with your Bills gear. Don't really got to worry about anything else and get ready to party.
Are you guys doing every game this year? Like, how does that work?
So we try to choose the best, but try to get to as many as we can. So we're doing 7 so far.
Okay.
Just did in Miami, and that was awesome. So had a lot of fun.
Was it great? Tell me about Miami. Tell me about the trip, man. What was it like?
Miami's always a great time. The Bills backers, Miami, John Holler down there does a great job. So they already have a great club. They get a bunch of people every game day. So when we go down there, it's always one of our biggest trips. We stay right on the beach. So it's always nice waking up. It's Victory Friday on the beach.
Yes.
A nice mimosa out there, sunrise. So you can't beat it. But I don't know if you saw some of the pictures. You can check out Fans of Buffalo on Instagram and Facebook. But, man, Bills Mafia showed out. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. Where can people find you? Where can they go? And once again, Will Bradley, Fans of Buffalo, one of the sponsors here at Sal's House tonight. We really appreciate him. Buffalo logo as well, and Sports City Pizza Pub. But when people go to Fans of Buffalo, again, think what Will's saying. He's gonna take care of everything. They're gonna take care of everything. That a chartered flight. They have a ticket to the game. They have your hotel accommodations ready for you. They got food for you before you don't have to take care of anything. You can just drink and have a good time, Will, right?
Pretty much. We try to make it as easy as possible. Try to take all the thinking out of it. You leave that to us. If you got groups, you try to meet up with family, you just send us a note and we'll make sure we get you together and we'll get it all seated together at the game, and it's always a good time. So you can always check out all our trips and events. If you're trying to just go to the tailgate because you do your own thing, that's fine. We got everything on fansofbuffalo.com. Definitely the way to follow us is on Instagram and Facebook. We have Twitter too, at Fans of Buffalo. You won't miss a thing.
Awesome, man. Keep doing your thing. It's so cool. What have you had? Like, have you had to stop? Like, have you had more requests for any certain cities this year? Seattle, LA, anything like that? Like, what's been the big ticket item this year?
But by far it's Houston. People are pumped.
Houston. All right.
Back down to Houston. So, we've been talking with the Houston Bills backers. They've been great down there. So our tailgate's going to be in the same lot with them. You can either come, just walk in and join with them, or you can buy into our tailgate. We'll have a cater, open bar there, DJ.
Love it.
Like I said, make it as easy as possible. But that's our biggest trip. I think we got 200 people in our group for that.
Well, I know, listen, I'm good friends with the radio guys down in Houston, and I know they're planning on taking me out for some barbecue. You let me know where you guys are. I'm going to say, let's go to a Buffalo Bills party. We're going to do it. All right.
Oh, yeah. There's a big one right by our hotel on Saturday with the Houston Bills backers. So you hit me up and we'll do it. So
you got it. Will, thank you so much. Fansofbuffalo.com. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for being a part of Sal's house. Always appreciate you, man.
All right. No problem. Thanks for bringing me on.
Talk to you later, you got it. You got it. All right. That is Bills. Will Bradley. Yeah, you got it. Go Bills. All right. All right. Next up, my man, Sal Maiorana. Sal, how are you, buddy? Have you recovered from that tough loss today, even though they played pretty well on the West Coast, the Yankees?
Yeah, it was a good start to the series. They clinched their playoff berth, Sal, which for a long while there, I wasn't sure that was going to be possible this season. But they played well the first night for sure. Last night, got a little bit lucky in the 10th inning there. I don't know if you saw that.
I did.
Chaotic play.
Unbelievable.
That was unbelievable. What a gift that was. And then today, I just finished writing my newsletter. And the day's headline was that was a hangover day because I think they were a little hungover after last night. But good series for them.
I thought too after last night. Oh my God, you're in there celebrating, and then I thought maybe even give guys a couple of days off, or a couple guys a day off, and then the Juan Soto injury. Oh my God, what were you going through? I was thinking about you, Soto. In case people don't know, Juan Soto in right field chases over a ball that was a foul ball, but he slid and hit the wall and hurt his knee, and it looked pretty bad, but he stayed in the game, and I couldn't believe they kept him in the game.
Yeah, I will say this about him, Sal. He is a little bit of a diva, right? I mean, he has gotten hurt a few times this year, and it looks like it's the end of the world, and then he ends up being fine. I remember last week, he fouled the ball off his foot. It looked like the season was over. 2 pitches later, he hits a home run. So I wasn't real concerned once he got up. It looked like he was okay. But he milked it for all it was worth. But it looks like he'll be okay. I just saw Boone's post game, and they said they think he's fine.
All right, listen. We want to thank. We are close to 2,000 people coming in right now live at this Sal's house Thursday Night Football watch party. Are you watching the game somewhere in your little studio or room where you are?
It is right below me on the iPad here.
I'm curious always how much time is left where you are and what you're watching, because I want to see if we're together.
I've got 2:27 and
wow. We're exactly the same. I love this. All right. So initial impressions, Jets, Patriots. These are two teams, obviously, the Bills have to contend with in the AFC East, not only through the first 2 games, but tonight, anything you've watched from either of these teams over the first 2 games in 1 quarter.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think the Jets they're the problem for the Bills, Sal. I mean, the Dolphins, I think we're going to be pesky with Tua healthy. And if he's going to miss, at least 4 weeks and maybe more, I don't think Bills fans should be too concerned about Miami anymore. But I think this Jets team is the real deal. The first game in San Francisco, tough place to open against a very good team, even without McCaffrey that night. And, they were beaten by a better team in San Francisco. Last week, they weren't great, that's for sure. Tennessee, made a couple stupid mistakes that helped the Jets win. But I think this team's going to get it together pretty quickly here, Sal. And I fully expect that they're going to have no problem tonight with these Patriots. So, yeah, that's a good team that the Bills are going to be facing, in a month's time down there on a primetime game.
Yeah, and they have what appeared to be a pretty easy schedule now. I think it's not as easy now because Minnesota's playing better than we thought. They have to play them in London. Then they come back to play the Bills after that. But after this, they get, I think, the Denver Broncos, and then they do have Minnesota. Here's a sack. They just sacked Jacoby Brissett. Yeah. And look, on the other side of the equation, we both know the Patriots aren't a very good team. I said this earlier. I give the Patriots credit for knowing who they are. They know they're not very explosive. They have to play low-scoring games, play good defense. But, man, that leaves such little margin for error, and they just don't have enough talent on offense.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Sal. They're going to be good on defense all year. I mean, Gerard Merrill, former linebacker, he knows defense. I think they've got some nice pieces on their defense. I think they're going to play a lot of low-scoring, ugly games this season. Their quarterback play is going to be a little sketchy, right? Jacoby Brissett is, he's just a guy. And I think at some point they're going to move on to Drake May. But I think they're doing it the right way here, Sal, because you're right. They know who they are.
Yep.
And I think they understand that they are probably not going to be a playoff team. So there's no need to rush Drake May in right now. Let him learn a little bit, see what the regular season's all about, and then maybe give him his opportunities a little bit later. But I think they're going to ride Brissett. And, they're not going to be a very good team, but they're going to give teams problems with their defense. It's never going to be an easy game against the Patriots.
No doubt. By the way, thank you all so much. Check this out. We are over 2,000 live viewers right now.
Well, it's because the double dose of Sal. I mean, where else are you going to get two Sals at the same time?
Should I make a joke? Two Sal's, one camera. That's what we can do. Something like that here on this Sal's House watch party. By the way, thank you very much to Sports City Pizza Pub, 1407 Niagara Street. Great pizza, wings, beer, everything you need to watch the games. Go there this weekend, folks. College games. Bills don't play till Monday night. Go there on Sunday. Watch all the games. It's the best spot in town to do it. Buffalo logo, screen printing, and embroidery. They make incredible shirts, great prints. I wear them when I play golf. It's pretty incredible. Sal Maiorana joining me right now here over in Rochester, obviously covering the Bills. How many years is this now for you covering the Buffalo Bills?
This is a perplexing question, Sal.
Okay.
It's 35 years full-time on the beat for the paper. So that's 1990. But I predate that. The first time in the press box for me was 1983. When I was a part-time stringer for the AP. And then I covered a little bit when I was with the Corning Leader, my first year and a half in the business. And then was still doing AP up until 1990 when I was working for the DNC. So it's 35 full-time years, but it's actually like 42 or 43 years in that press box.
It's pretty amazing. You've seen some really good football, some really bad football. Obviously, we're living in a really good time here, 8 years running for this regime and what they've done. How surprised, if at all, are you about this season and the way it's starting to look for the Buffalo Bills?
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm surprised. I did pick Miami to win the game last week. I thought it was not a great matchup for the Bills, and I don't think I was alone on that. I think other people kind of thought that might be Miami's night, the short week and all that. And then that game obviously flipped pretty quickly. The way the Bills started off, their defense was great, and then the Tua injury. So I'm slightly surprised by 2-0. Fully expected them to beat the Cardinals. But they're off to a good start. I guess the one thing I am surprised about, Sal, is how these wide receivers have done absolutely nothing in 2 games. I get it. The game script kind of was different last week, but we haven't seen much from these guys. And and it could be Monday night, there's going to be games where they're going to need these guys to produce,
Agreed.
and we haven't seen it yet.
Agreed. Are you concerned about Monday night at all? You got a Jags team that's 0-2. Their backs are against the wall. They do have talent. The Bills are banged up, obviously, in the second level, especially of the defense. 3 backups, essentially, all playing across the board at nickel corner and 2 linebackers. Are you concerned at all?
Yeah, absolutely. I picked the Bills to win. I made my pick today, in fact, on the radio and then in the paper, too. My concern about this game is it's not a surprise, Sal. What's the most dangerous possible team the Bills could be playing this week? And I'll tell you what it is. A playoff contender, a preseason playoff contender that has started 0-2. There isn't a more dangerous team in the NFL. And right now, there's 4 of those teams. When you figure Jaguars, Colts, Ravens, Bengals, we're all 4 teams, I think, considered playoff contenders, right? In the AFC.
Yeah.
All 0-2.
Right. Yep.
All 4 of those teams have games this week where their season literally could hinge on whether they win or lose. We all know the numbers for 0-3 teams that can't make the playoffs. So that right there gives me a little bit of pause about this game Monday night for the Bills.
Hey, man, I know you got a lot going on. You and I were talking recently about how many books have you written?
22, I believe, is the count.
It's really awesome. What, like, is there one? I know they're all like your kids, right? 22 kids. Is there one that you really you kind of hold up as the gold standard, you're most proud of, most accomplished, or, did the best with, or anything like that?
Yeah, I've got like, I guess I would say 3. My first Bills book was the first Relentless book. I did a 2-volume, but the first one was on the 35th anniversary of the franchise.
Yeah.
And that just was that was a labor of love for me, Bills fan going back to the late 60s, growing up with the team. So that was really enjoyable to dig into the history of the team. And that book did tremendously for me. So I was very happy with that. But then the 2 that I really had the most fun writing, Sal, was my book about the Yankees called A Lifetime of Yankee Octobers that came out in the early 2000s, I guess it was.
Okay.
And that was a book where I created a fictional character, and I named him Joe Kimmerly after both of my grandfathers, first name, last name.
That's amazing.
And I had this character, Sal, be a part of all, at the time, it was 26 World Series championships.
Yes.
In one way or another, either as a little kid growing up in the Bronx, as a bat boy, as a sports writer, and later as a confidant to Joe Torre. I just made up this whole scenario.
That's incredible.
And it took you through the entire history of the Yankees 26 World Series. So that was a lot of fun to write. And then the other one I would say was my book, 1968, which, again, I created a fictional character that took you through the entire year of 1968, both, sports and political and culture. And that was just a ton of fun to inject these characters into all these different scenarios. So those are my 3 favorite books.
I love it. A Lifetime of Yankee Octobers. Is that what you said it's called? Where can people get that, or any of your books?
Yeah, I mean, they're probably still on Amazon. I mean, that one's 20 years old. The 1968 book I self-published on Amazon, so that's available on Amazon. But I think people who enjoy history, 1968 was, one of the most incredible years in U.S. history. So I really enjoyed. I created a sports writer who covered all the big events throughout that year for like a Sports Illustrated type of thing.
Yeah.
And then I had like his son in Vietnam. I had his wife, at the political convention in Chicago.
This is like Forrest Gump. This is like Forrest Gump.
Exactly. I had his daughter out in California during the hippie movement and all the music. So it was a lot of fun to put the whole thing together. I really enjoyed that book a lot.
Amazing, amazing. Well, we're into the second quarter now, so I'm going to let you get going. Tell everybody where they can find your work online or wherever else they want to go and read you.
Yeah, DemocratandChronicle.com is where all my Bills stuff is. And then obviously my new podcast, Sal, Believe in Bills with Adam Benini. We're just getting it started. There's a lot of competition in that space. You guys, you and Matt have a great one, and so many others. So we're trying to break into that, but you can get it at Apple and Spotify and all those places. And then obviously the Yankees newsletter. I mean, Sal, come on, we got to pub that, right? You got to get people on that.
It is amazing. Listen, I'm going to tell everybody. Sal's Yankees newsletter is amazing, and it's free. If you're a Yankee fan, if you're a baseball fan, the love that you pour into it, I mean, it's incredible. And I can't believe you do this, and you give it to people for free. It's truly amazing. And you go retro, you look back at different times and different games, the night that something happened, there's a no-hitter, or Craig Nettles was some story you had the other day that I saw. Like, there's just all this stuff. And then, of course, you stay on top of the current team and what's happening. It's incredible. Yeah. I love it. I thank you. And I know any Yankee fan would love it.
Yeah, I really do enjoy it. It's a lot of work. I will say that. But, right now it's for free. And, it's called Pinstripe People. And people can, I've tweeted out the link a million times. I think it was my pinned tweet at one time. But if you Googled Pinstripe People, it would come up at some point. So, yeah, I would appreciate any Yankees fans to jump on there. And, hey, we're getting down to the nitty gritty now. We're coming to the fun time of the season. So it's a good time to jump in there and listen to my rantings and ravings.
Well, the Jets are driving. They have a 1st and 10, and they're already up 7-0 in this game. Sal, thank you so much, my fellow Sal, my fellow Paisan. Thanks for joining me here on Sal's House Watch Party. We'll do it again sometime. In the meantime, I'll see you this weekend at the game on Monday night at the very least.
All right, Sal. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, you got it. That is Sal Maiorana doing a great job as always. All right, folks, that's it for the watch party tonight. Thank you so much. This is amazing. We are up to 2,240 people, and it keeps rising. Tell everybody about it. Come back next time. We're going to keep getting more and more better and better guests. Also, an on-location Sal's house coming very soon. What should I tell you now? I got 22 people in here, all right? We're going to take Sal's house on the road to Fatty Beer, downtown Buffalo, the night before the Sabres home opener, Wednesday, October 9th. And I already have some great guests lined up for you. Fatty Beer, downtown Buffalo, Wednesday, October 9th, the night before the Sabres home opener. They'll have already played 2 games in Prague against the Devils. Then they come back, and I already have some awesome guests lined up for you to talk Sabres hockey and Bills football. That'll be a live on location Sal's house Wednesday night, October 9th, Fatty Beer downtown. Tell everybody about it. Come back here next time. Get me to 10,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. I'm close. We're less than 1,000 away. In the meantime, enjoy tonight's game. Thanks to my guests, as always, Will Bradley of Fans of Buffalo, Lorenzo Alexander, former Buffalo Bills linebacker, Sal Maiorana of the Democrat and Chronicle, and of course, thanks to our sponsors, Sports City Pizza Pub, 1407 Niagara Street, and of course, Buffalogo, buffalogo.com. Thanks for coming, everybody. Enjoy the rest of tonight's game.